So I'm not going to go through my usual introduction here, but we have a special meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We have one calendar item for this evening. It's been posted on the door outside, and we're going to go ahead and proceed with calendar number 2, 2019, Parks and Recs Department application for the installation of a guardhouse. If you're here in that application, please step forward and present from the podium. And if also you could give your name for the record so Judy has it.
Good evening. My name is Pamela Carey. I'm the Director of Parks and Rec here in Darien, and I've been here 3.5 years. And one of the things that I have learned is that these two guard shacks, one at Weed Beach and one at Pear Tree, have been in place nearly 20 years. And one being a little bit better shape than the other. Pear Tree, as you can see in your packets, is been affected by the water and the flood zone and the unique situation of the land there, and needs to be replaced. I did make some copies, if I can hand them out to you. The picture there is a framed picture that we have on our wall in the office, and I just circled it with pens so that you could see that we're assuming this is in the 1960s, and that shed was there then, at that time. And I tried to get it, it's tough to get it as close as possible, but. And then behind there is just showing the elevations, even though you have one in your packet, it's a little bit, our surveyor helped me with this in terms of getting the ground elevation and then the cement pad and what would equal up to the 7 that is in the application. I'll go back to saying that it's such a unique property in that we have a guard shack that needs to keep control of the people coming in. With both these facilities, we bring in anywhere from $18,000 to $20,000 a season. So it shows you the amount of people that are coming to the beaches and do need to make sure that we have control over who's entering the beach and whether they've paid or not. And setting that back any further would create a hardship for that security guard trying to keep control of the cars coming in, as well as the ramp, the boat ramp. The trailers have to come in, they have to back up. I physically went out there and walked and tried to envision the facility being pushed back, and I think the hardship would be so great that the boat ramp would be very difficult for the trailers to be able to access it.
Pam, sorry.
That's okay. And you're actually improving the condition on site, right? You're moving and thank you for this Exhibit A, because it's super helpful to show where the new guardhouse is going to be in relation to the old one. I'm assuming that the shaded area is the new one in the crosshatch. Okay.
Correct.
I think that's great. I think improving hardship is always beneficial to our committee. And I've also used that boat ramp and know that if you did move this back to a conforming location, it wouldn't be viable. So,
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Pam, does it ever, during peak season, does it get backed up to the road? Have the guards ever talked about how having the shack so close to the road causes a traffic holdup?
Well, the reason why I went 5 feet, I felt I was just enough to at least get another car off of the road.
Okay.
So when you come in, yes, there are times where that does happen, but I haven't heard large complaints about it. I think that this community is pretty used to it.
Okay.
It's been around for a long time. I will tell you that we are we have an architect that's going to be hired in terms of doing the new facility, and that will be discussed whether or not there's a better area to enter through.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate to put it off. The floor has fallen in, we've re-welded it. It is just a hideous looking representation of that beach when you drive in. It just really needs to be replaced to look better.
And would you say there's a safety issue for the guards and having protection in bad weather and things like that?
Of not having it, you're saying?
Yeah. If you didn't have a guardhouse there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
And what else
They
do they
can't be in
do
the
other than,
elements.
other than check people in? So they're checking to make sure everybody has a permit that's coming through. And anybody who stops to have a conversation is probably about that, or?
Yeah, and not, if they don't have one, then they have to pay.
Yep.
So they're taking transactions.
Okay.
We've recently gotten rid of cash, so there's a lot of credit card online transactions now.
Okay,
So, people coming in with dogs, they're kind of trying to help, stop that from happening. They're there just to secure the entrance.
yeah. I think it's a necessary function,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just had a question about this photo. Is this just representative? Because
Yes.
we're showing the floor level being higher than that.
Yes, it's just,
So-
it's
okay.
just a rendering of what they'll
So
build.
the floor will actually be under the door, and there'll be like a step up into the.
Right, and if
into
you
the-
look at the second picture, I think this is a better
Yeah,
picture of the elevations of the step and the cement and the, because they also have the, it's a, gosh, on here too, is it, I always want to say railing, it's not a rail, but it's almost, it's a 4x4 that goes underneath so that we can remove it. The forklift will come in and remove it, so it won't be sitting flush on the cement.
right.
Okay.
Rails, that's what they're.
And timing-wise, this would happen before the summer?
I'm hopeful,
We're hopeful,
but
okay.
I have to get through all these commissions, and then I have to hit the green button for the company to build it, which takes 4 to 6 weeks. I have to have it in place by May 1st so that they can do the electricity.
Does it need EPA approval or anything like that, given that it's so close to the water?
Woody?
Planning and Zoning Commission, I
Right,
think,
that's-
is looking at
Dealing
it
with
as
that,
a
okay.
coastal and flood damage prevention, a special permit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is one of the issues, the elevation is
Yeah, so
naturally much lower than that.
we're below elevation. So how tall is this structure? It's 10 feet, 5 inches, perfect. Have you looked at, in the construction process, and maybe you haven't done this yet, but elevating plugs, switches?
We are. Everything's
that-
being
okay.
raised we already had the electrician looking at that. But
Okay.
everything will be raised. The air conditioner today, and for the last 20 years, has been close to the ground level. That will be raised. So you can actually see that in the rendering. In one of the pictures there, you'll see a smaller cutout next to the window, and that will be the air conditioning unit, nice and high.
Oh, so it's a
Okay.
window unit, it's not a...
Oh, it's a
okay.
window unit.
I don't see that on
And it is,
here.
it's right
right
on the
there.
third drawing down. Third drawing down.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Good.
And all the electrical wires, we're looking to remove that, have the electrical company come in and really clean that up. Right now, we got a big piece of wood that's out front that's
yeah,
got
yeah.
wires hanging on it, and
Have you looked at underground?
we're going to be discussing that with the electric company.
Okay.
Yes.
I noticed the footprint is a little larger than what is
Yes,
there.
I apologize about that, but I originally was going to request a little larger one, like Weed Beach, but I opted to scale back and say, let's just replace the same size. Easier
Same size as it
is the
existing?
current one.
Okay.
6 by 9. That way we wouldn't have to worry about the width of the entrance.
So this isn't right? This drawing.
No, that's correct.
This is correct?
This is the one that, like, the builder gave me one for 8 by 10 to show the dimensions and things.
It's just the
It's
overhang.
bigger?
I think it's the same size, just the
6
overhangs.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a 6 by 9 on the
Okay.
survey. Yep.
And there's no plumbing in this, there's no bathroom or anything, it's just a shack with electric?
You could maybe fit a toilet in it if there, you
Okay.
tried.
Yeah, it looks pretty small, but it's here. Okay.
We'll have to finish the walls when we get the facility put down, building, and we'll look to do waterproofing, some materials inside there as the best we can.
And Woody's, either building or planning and zoning will make sure that they're FEMA flood compliant and all that sort of stuff? I mean, we're giving them a variance to say that they don't have to be, 16 feet high. But
Right.
that doesn't mean we're giving them a variance to say you can put, mechanicals and things.
Yeah, the commission will have to essentially make a determination. If
So-
they can have all that equipment and electricity vulnerable to flooding.
Planning and zoning makes that determination. Okay, so so we don't have to require flood gates and,
No, as far as the typical venting and all that.
yeah.
But There is the advisory that we normally include with these elevational things.
Yep.
We call it flood hazard advisory,
Yep.
which I think we should include to kind of make us clean and consistent with other buildings.
Okay.
Basically says that the owner's advised that because of the location, it's going to be vulnerable to future flooding. There should be insurance kept for the building, some given stuff.
So is that implied or is that a stipulation we make?
It's a stipulation we
Okay.
make.
It's a stipulation.
And I think that was in the previous variance
Yeah.
grant for this.
When it does flood, does it get above the floor level at all in the old guardhouse?
Not that I witnessed.
No? Okay.
It gets pretty close, but then it recedes. And obviously you can see the footings have been sitting in water. And this will be a little bit higher, and
Right.
I think it will, and plus we're looking at just a temporary building, so it will be gone. It will only be there from mid-May to mid-September, and that will be a new thing.
And then where will it be stored?
Most likely Weed Beach, where it's dry. But we have not determined that, so don't hold me to that.
Okay, but it'll be off-site storage?
Off-site. Mhm. And really, it's the only way we can do that
I don't think
because,
there's any on-site storage that doesn't flood, right?
On
sorry?
Pear Tree.
On Pear Tree? I
No.
don't think there's any on-site storage, place you
No,
can store it.
no, we'll take it
Yes, you
away
will.
and
Okay.
preserve it. It's pressure-treated lumber. It's 6x9. I mean, who knows, we could put it at Public Works Garage if we didn't feel necessary that we needed it somewhere else just for some seasonal storage.
You can put it in
Okay.
my yard if you want.
Yeah.
Does the foundation allow for the floods, the waters to come in and?
Yes,
Come
goes
out.
straight through.
Yep, okay.
And I guess it gets attached, though, in some manner.
Right.
During the season.
Our park crew will do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Woody, any other questions? I think most of your stuff on here was about previous applications. We've got a picture from the 60s, which is helpful, showing that this was there.
I think I included some things about the Weed Beach guardhouse, which was similar in nature, not a setback, but definitely an elevational thing. The pavilion was too there, and even the paddle tennis building, so that's
I think, yeah, I think,
a reference.
yeah.
I can also say that the Sandy storm, what the survey depicts is an existing floor elevation of 6.6. They're proposing to bring that up a few tenths. But the Sandy storm was between 9.4 and 10, which probably indicates there was 2 or 3 feet of water inundating this guard shack if it was there during the Sandy storm.
Right.
Certainly the whole beach and the whole road was completely flooded in Sandy.
Well, that particular one was there.
Yeah.
That pear tree,
Okay.
it's been there.
Okay.
And Weed Beach, when you wrote that in your notes there, that one is as old as Pear Tree, so that was just moved. And it wasn't a new one in 2008. They just moved its location.
Moved it to confirm. Yeah, but it's a little easier to do at that site.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's not a flood
There's a
zone.
lot more real estate to deal with. Okay,
What about lighting? Any lighting,
Mm-hmm.
nighttime lighting kind of thing?
There'll be lights inside because they work until 9, 10 o'clock at
Right.
night.
Any outside lighting? that might-
There is outside lighting there, not on the building.
Started over
But
there.
there is outside lighting just in the facility there.
Okay.
And they have the gate that's still there, locks at night by the police department and open in the morning.
And it can be shielded for, not to bother the neighbors kind of thing?
I haven't heard any complaints by the neighbors.
I know, there's one letter of support I saw in the packet, but has anybody
I-
said anything
that was the
negative?
book club.
Yeah.
We could stipulate the
I haven't
shielding.
ever
think
heard
that's-
any
Okay.
complaints about
Okay.
lighting.
Thank you.
That's fine. Any other questions, Rick?
No, I'm good.
No.
Dan?
No.
Okay. Ruth Ann, thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, on this application, you cannot participate. Okay? Is there anything further from the applicant?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to be heard on this application? No. Okay. Woody, anything further from you?
Nope.
Okay. With all of that being said, we'll go ahead and close the application. Thank you very much for your time this evening. And I think since this is the only matter, can we go right into deliberations with it? Okay. So we're gonna go right into deliberations on this. Again, the audience cannot comment during the deliberations. It's not a public hearing. And so with that, we'll start the deliberations on application to 2019. Anyone have any thoughts, comments, questions?
No, I think it's a pretty straightforward case because there is a need for the guard room and they are substituting or replacing the existing one with a similar or modified structure. So it just helps the cost for the park and also makes it convenient for the public
Yep.
and also a better security.
Yeah,
You know.
I think there's a safety issue that gets
Safety issue,
addressed,
yeah.
addressed with this. There's an improvement to the current nonconformity, which
Right.
I really like.
Yep.
They're sticking with the same size structure. They're not, trying to build some massive thing. There was some reference to an overall plan which may modify this. I guess, Woody, if that happens and there needs to be a modification, I guess they could come back. or
Yeah, if they
we
move
could-
it to another location,
Yeah.
they would need a different approval, right?
Yeah, so
Unless they conform to the setback and the flood elevation.
that's entirely possible too,
Not
but
likely.
not likely on that site. So that would just, I guess, come back to us either through another hearing or through some other process, so.
My biggest question is more, is there a more optimal location to put it? And it doesn't sound like there is. You want it at front for the security purposes. They've set it back as far as they can to accommodate traffic coming in, and you really can't block the boat ramp or anything else. So I think it passes muster for me.
And it preserves parking. I mean, parking's always a mess down there,
Yeah.
so. Okay. With that, I will make a motion to approve with a couple of stipulations. One stipulation is your standard language, Woody, regarding its location in the flood zone and the risks associated with that. I'd also like to stipulate to shielding of the lighting so that it's not, of any offense
The
to.
exterior.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The interior lights don't bother me as much. I think just the exterior lights so they're not, shining off into the neighbor's property. Was there anything else anyone wanted in there?
As long as the EPA stuff's covered by,
Yeah.
planning and zoning. I think
Planning and
that's
zoning will
not
take
us.
care of the EPA and the flood regulations. We're just giving them a variance as to the height.
Question about conduits and whether, I think there was some testimony that they're considering removing the overhead wire
Yeah.
connections and putting them underground.
I would leave that as
Say
a,
something like suggest that or recommend?
yeah, I would leave that as our
Don't
recommendation
require
that they use underground conduits
Recommend.
to service the property. I think it'd just make the whole area nicer. And it's not a massive expense. And get rid of that damn house that's there now, that I think, Vic, you approved?
No,
Wasn't it?
Never was
We-
approved.
we did EV, not that one.
Oh, that was a different variance, okay.
Yeah.
Conduits, in storage off-site,
What was the testimony on that? Off-season?
off-season, yeah.
Are there any windows on the side that faces the street? I can't seem to find my,
Take a look. I don't remember.
diagrams.
Wasn't there a colored?
No, there was,
yeah.
wherever that thing is.
Yeah, there's windows on
Colored
every
image.
side.
There's on every side?
Yeah, it's like in every angle. Let the record note that I passed my packet to Vic.
Front view from the street.
I mean,
What do we think of that?
he's gotta be able to see the cars coming in.
Well, that's a side window.
Doesn't bother me.
No?
I can pass along that I guess the ARB that looked at this week had a question about the cupola. Whether that
Is that gonna
comes or
be,
goes or otherwise, I don't know.
is that gonna be
I don't
lit?
know what they,
No, the cupola, we've got a policy on,
okay, you can stiff, but no lights in the cupola. But they may be removing it anyway as an extra thing that they don't need. But I think we can say that's up to the ARB, but
No.
not lighting it might be worthwhile.
okay. So stipulation of no lighting in the cupola, and they can either keep it or get rid of it based on ARB's determination. With all of that, do I have a second?
I will second.
All in favor? Thank you very much.
4-0.
Thank you.
Good. So you didn't even need to talk, Pam. See?
Oh, I was gonna say that there's windows all around in that front one too.
Okay.
So we anticipate putting shades rather than the big metal things, so it should be no more.
Good work. Thank you. Thanks for staying late. Woody, we're on to other business? I think
Yeah.
we're off the record. Judy, you're done.
Judy's all set.
Judy's all set.
You know, I know why Ruth Ann was late. One of your memos said we're going to start at 7. I had to reopen the email to see, I just defaulted to 6:30 because I wasn't sure, so I'm defending her.
I couldn't even understand what was going on when I got a text from
I
you.
think the
and then
7 was the
I was out to
John
dinner.
Louisa's. That's,
That's, yeah,
that's-
I got confused too. I just thought I better show up at 6:30 so I don't get yelled at.
What do we have for other business, Woody? I'm sorry.
Yeah, a couple things.
Raymond.
Minutes of January 23rd.
Who's that? That's
January 23rd.
Vic, Barb, and I? Oh, and Ruth Ann.
Mike, Vic, Ruth Ann, and Barb.
Did everybody review those? Everyone happy with
Is this the Raymond thing you're talking about?
January 23rd minutes?
I did them right away. I don't remember what's in them now, but as soon as Woody sent them, I was okay with them.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
as long as
approved.
you let me know if there's a change, something's not right.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I make a motion to approve.
I will second.
All in favor? Expired ZBA extension to begin construction
Yeah, I
on
gotta talk to you a little bit about,
Raymond Street.
we actually have a couple projects that all of a sudden have come up.
Is Raymond Street that cantilevered?
Yes, very, very problematic project, but it's just stopped. All they did was some digging, they didn't really start any construction there.
Have they contacted you again?
No, that's the problem. So we're
So
at,
do we care?
Yes, we care. We're a caring board and
Care about
and we
the-
care about our citizens.
Right.
and-
But there's no application in front of us.
I
there's
understand.
no request for an extension, so.
Right.
The issue is, I
When
think
they-
I have to inform them that their ZBA approval expired like 3 months ago,
Yeah.
and they just gotta start over. When they're ready to go, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the right approach. I think that's I mean, we can't,
Tough, but
3 months later, you can't, if they had come to you and we were delayed in our action, I could justify it, but they haven't done anything, they haven't been proactive about it. When we send them their approvals, they're notified of the timing and when
Sure,
they
yeah.
expire and all that sort of stuff, so.
Yeah, and there's actually a very detailed letter which includes things like demolition doesn't constitute new construction.
Right.
It may be needed for a replacement house, and we have that exact condition on Norotan Avenue, where they didn't even start demolition, but all I'm saying is we have this issue every once in a while. Now, just so you know, we deliberately tell people, we're not keeping track of your deadline. We don't want that responsibility, you gotta do it. If you need an extension, you better ask for it, and the board can approve it or not. But if it runs out, it runs out. I feel bad that sometimes these complicated projects, where a whole lot of work went into putting these plans together, hearings, and all kinds of stuff, but.
Yeah, we
all I'm
spent a-
saying is I'm just looking for your guidance or support. to
Well, what is the
say-
precedent? Typically, so if they go beyond the time frame, they reapply, or they they appeal to us for an extension?
If they know they're gonna go beyond the time frame, what has generally happened is they've come into Woody and said, hey, we're gonna need another 6 months to get this thing going. We're running into an issue, this is a complicated project, whatever it is, and we usually look at it and say, sure, fine. We had one instance where, was it on this file, or was it another file, where we actually had them explain to us.
This one.
This one,
Yeah.
why it was taking so long. So, they've had 1 or 2 extensions so far.
One was for a whole year.
Yeah, we did one for a year, and then we did a second extension, and we said, look, you gotta tell us why this hasn't started.
Okay.
And 6 months later, or, excuse me, 9 months later, they haven't done anything.
Right.
Yeah,
They're 3 months through their second extension, and
nothing.
the project's not moving forward. So
Okay.
something
That
happened with
means
the
they'd have to
project.
reapply to
Right.
the board, have to have a new hearing and a new decision and all that stuff.
Yep.
Neighbors would have another chance to comment, but I guess what's fair is fair.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's so rare that this comes up, and then believe it or not, Monday, another one came up. Happened to be a neighbor complaint. I thought they were gonna replace that house, and the place is a mess, there's junk all over the yard, and it's a blight.
Yeah.
We're like, what? So it turned out that they're 3 months behind their ZBA deadline also. So I would say this is unusual, but for whatever reason, we have 2 on the table right now. I think in the office, we've concluded we just can't bend these rules unless you guys tell us to, but
No, I don't think
we have a
that.
6-month rule for a
Yeah.
reason, pretty much.
And do we charge a new application fee when they submit?
Yeah, they
So,
have-
okay,
They have to reapply.
yeah.
But their option is keep track of the deadline. If you're approaching it, ask for an extension. And we've even said, if we get the extension request in the office, January 5th or whatever it is, and the board doesn't meet until the 20th, we're not gonna hold it against you, as long as you beat the date for asking for the extension.
Yeah, I think that's,
The board will be flexible with a week or 3 or whatever to, consider it.
I think that's more than fair. I think
3 months later is
Yeah.
another story.
Have you tried to contact them at all?
Not the Pereira on Raymond Street.
No.
But I did talk to them multiple times over the last couple of years, like, when are you gonna get this going? And
Yeah, but I agree, I don't think it is your job to chase them
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
I'm against you even following up,
Right.
right?
I'd rather not have to do that, right?
If this were my 18-year-old son, I'd be like, you're a bonehead. No,
Yeah.
figure out your own schedule.
Yeah, yeah. In this
I mean, it's
this
their
application.
project and it's supposed to be important to them, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, I said
And
they have to reapply.
This project in particular was extremely controversial with the neighbors. It
Mm-hmm.
was extremely complicated to construct. They may have just thrown in the towel, so it's not worth building.
Yeah, things happen.
I've wondered so many times. when
But
I
it will be
went by
messy.
there.
If they reapply, it could be.
It's gonna be another mess
Yeah.
for them, but,
But that's the way, I think you have to default to that. I think you have to follow the policy.
well, because we're not doing service to the neighbors if we just keep granting them extensions and they're not. I mean, they came in front of us, and I can't remember, when we gave them the 6 month, they said that they were ready to go.
Yeah, and then for whatever reason, I don't know if it was contracting and costing and whatever. I mean, I've thought about, on the application form, should we
No.
have somebody give us an estimate of how much it's gonna cost, for instance?
No.
Because this does happen.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes people don't exercise these things.
I think for a year and
Because
a,
they find out, oh, it's gonna cost 800,000 more than I thought it was.
I think for a year and a half, Woody, they have plenty of time to get their act together, so. You can either notify them or wait until they come back to you and,
Well, we will now to just sort of clean this up and tell them,
Okay.
look, if you really want to do this, reapply.
Right.
When you're ready to go, then good. I think for all your time here, this has been our practice, we just,
You're right. I've never seen this in the time I've been
it's
here.
rare.
my other suggestion to them is if they do reapply, be ready to go within 6 months, because we're not gonna go through this whole process again. We're not wasting,
Good point.
Plus, it's not fair to the neighbors.
It's not fair to the neighbors, it's not fair to us as a board to
The
keep hearing
neighbors
this
have to come
application.
in, yeah.
It's irresponsible.
Okay,
I know you suggested that we can use the old plans if they reapply, kind of thing, in one of your memos.
They could basically copy the plans, yes.
I would suggest that they submit what they think they're gonna build now.
Oh, yeah.
Whether if it's the old plans, fine, but I think time has gone by that I'm sure that there are things that have been done to those plans.
I think so. You think
Yeah.
they've changed the plans?
I'm sure they tweaked them.
Well, there was actually a
Anyway,
contractor who had
Whatever they're gonna build.
foundation plans.
Yeah, whatever they're gonna build.
It's gotta be accurate,
Yeah.
yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Judy, are we holding you up?
I didn't want to introvert, put the TV.
Do you want to get your
Yeah, you
mics?
can
No, no,
grab
come
them.
on, get your mics.
Thank you.
Get you out of here. You gotta drive.
Okay, thank you. There's no decision you guys have to make. I just wanted to run that by you because it's so unusual.
Yeah, no, you have our full support in that. I think that's the right way to approach it.
Thank you.
Um,
Let me point out one more thing, which is kind of along this line, but quite interesting. The Tokenique Beach Drive project. We got word that the Castelos that went through that process of supposedly big addition to the existing house, all the problems that came, to tear it pretty much down. I guess they've decided to sell the property. Somebody else is inquiring now about different things, including adding a pool to it. And we don't know if that's just changing life. They're gonna move to Dominican Republic, or whether it's a cost thing or just an emotional, drag for them or what it is, but these things do happen where projects get before us with a lot of work and a lot of effort to plan and then for whatever reason they fall apart.
Well, it's too
I
bad.
do have preliminary applications, discussions with all these applicants. And I've thought about this recently, like, well, maybe in those conversations, I should also be talking among the things like, well, you need hardship, we have some surveying you gotta do, and are you sure you're gonna, maybe I should be asking, do you know for sure how much this is gonna cost? And are you fully aware of the deadline? We have a limited
Yeah,
time.
that's a good point.
That you
That's a
can
good
work.
point, yeah.
And maybe we need to reinforce that.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
kind of a
that'll
big,
help a little bit.
I'm a big fan of more,
Yeah.
more information up front, so people don't waste their time applying for things that aren't gonna work or gonna be more costly than they anticipate.
Or they haven't accurately priced out, or maybe an architect's given them an idea, they start contracting it. That wouldn't surprise me on Raymond Street if that very difficult house cost ended up doubling or tripling.
Wasn't the guy who, wasn't the applicant an architect or, so, I mean, I don't know.
Which one are you talking about?
20
Raymond.
20
Oh, on
Raymond.
Raymond?
guy-
Vacant
Oh, I
lot.
thought he
The guy
was
in
a
the corner.
dentist. I don't know
Well,
why.
the owner is, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the owner's a dentist? I thought he was.
Yeah.
But the architect that did most of the work and coordinated a lot of effort, applied for a couple of extensions, but.
So,
All right.
because the Tokenie Beach is an architect. The wife's. an
Yeah.
architect.
Casolo is, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
They built all over
So
town.
things change, sometimes we don't know why.
If somebody buys that property, can they assume the approval
Mhm.
of the application?
They build the same
They build
thing,
the same thing.
and they do it within the deadline.
Right.
Who knows now how long that's gonna take to
Yeah.
transfer,
Um,
so.
we went over
Okay.
consequences of ZBA inability to meet a decision deadline.
Yeah, that's
Is there
something
any-
I think we might wanna talk about with John.
Yeah, let's leave that for
Finally get
John.
to him.
And then I think the rest of these, Dan and I are supposed to be working on, but I'd like to talk to John about those as well. So
That'd be
can we
good.
put those on the agenda for conversation with him?
Sure.
I just want to, the reason I've sort of been putting it off is I don't want to set up a set of policies and bylaws and then violate them.
Right.
And then give people a real cause to appeal. We've been operating in a manner without them, so it doesn't trip us up if we don't follow some rule or procedure that we've set
I
up
like
for
that.
ourselves. So I want to talk to John about it and see
Yeah,
what his
the
thoughts
less
are and if it
rules and
makes.
procedures.
Right, less
Might be better,
documentation.
might be
yeah.
better. And then the other thing I want to talk about real quick is this memo that Woody sent. It's a real, I think it's a real burden, Woody, to send someone that far for a half an hour presentation. So what I'd like to suggest is if we can get Jeremy to get us the materials, specifically the materials related to the zoning board, and if we could circulate those to the board, I think that would be helpful. And if he has trouble getting them, just tell Marissa at my office, and she'll track them down.
You can get it from the attorney probably.
Yeah,
Or if they have the recording, Woody.
Okay?
or if they have a
Recording,
recording.
Oh,
Yeah, sometimes they record those and they'll send you the tapes. I think that would be something that would be beneficial for
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
I've gone a couple of times and actually enjoyed it.
You wanna go
Well,
this
do
one?
you want to go?
Oh, no, not this year. I want to go to Mexico.
So
You
do
go,
I.
it starts at 6:30, not 7.
Yeah, it starts at 6:30.
I cannot get over this.
I know, I know what happened.
Anything further? Okay. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? Channel 79, we are done for the evening. Thank you very much.
Nice,
This
quick.
is for Woody.